Well, finally, after 1 month of ownership and almost 1,000 miles of driving, I feel like it's finally time that I have enough information on this car that I can finally make a review on my 2026 Audi RS3. And especially, I feel like this is coming at the right time with the new showing of the 2027 Audi RS3. And I definitely have some feelings on that. But I'm just going to go over today, the good, the bad. First thing, I'll get into some of the things that I like. We'll go with the exterior. I like the aggressive look of the facelift AY, the AY.5. I like the new Audi Matrix headlights that they went with, and I like that, they went with a more angular design with the front end, and that they got rid of the fake vent in the rear, because that was one of the things that I didn't like about the AY was the fake vents in the rear and some of the fake vents in the front, and they got rid of all of that. But I do like the tail lights more on the pre-facelift more than the post-facelift, but it's still like a nice tail light. And I'm not saying that I don't like the headlights on the pre-facelift. I feel like they're both really good headlights. I just like more the customization that you get with these headlights. One of the first things that I don't like that comes with the exterior is that the RS badge. You don't get the RS badge on the front, but with the new 26, you do get the RS badge. I mean, the new 2027, you do get the RS badge, which I will be fixing with this car. I'm just going to get the old RS badges, and I'm going to get all chrome badges all around. I already have them ordered, and it's the same thing with the back. I don't really like the new RS badge. I don't like how it's not together, and it's very good that Audi did listen though with that and actually made that come together like the old style, but then they kind of ruined it with some other things. The thing that's really good about this car is these brakes. The brakes that come out on these RS cars are really phenomenal. Like, it actually took me a little bit to get used to them, like how great they are at stopping, especially when they're warm. But when they are cold, a little thing that's a little annoying is that they do squeal a good amount. So your first couple stops, you're probably going to be squealing a little bit just because the brakes actually have to warm up. And just to let you guys know, a lot of the problems and a lot of the negatives that I'm going to give for this car are all first world problems. None of them are actually things that annoy me or bother me or made me feel like, dang, I should have got a different car. I really do love this car. Also, don't mind how dirty it is right now. It's been raining the past couple days in Philadelphia. That's just life. But just know that all the negatives are not that bad. Another negative that I just had recently, which again, first world problem, I'm buying a performance car. So one of my tires had a nail in them, and that was very expensive to buy one brand new tire. Maybe if the first thing, the tires were super hard to find because these are the ultra performance tires. So that's an additional option. So the tires are really hard to find. Every tire shop that I'm calling doesn't have them. Tire Rack didn't even have them. They were sold out. So then I had to call the dealer. The dealer had one in stock for the tire and to put them on. You wouldn't even believe it was $500. $500 for 265 millimeters in rubber. I don't know. I feel like it could have been a little cheaper for it not even being that wide. That segues me into my next thing. I don't like that this car is 19s. When I go with aftermarket wheels for this car, I will be downsizing to an 18. I love the way this wheel looks, but a 19, I feel like an 18 with a thicker tire would make the ride just a little bit better. But again, first world problem. It's not really that big of a deal. It can be easily fixed. And again, you're buying a performance car, so of course the ride's going to be a little stiff. But when you actually put this car into comfort and you change from dynamic and performance and comfort, you do feel the difference in the ride. When you're in performance, when you're in dynamic, you feel that stiffer ride, especially when you're in performance. Like, everything's just turned off, everything's just hardcore. But when you go into comfort, the car really does dial it back a lot more. And I think Audi did a great job between the generations on actually feeling that, that difference in the different driving modes. So let's go into the interior and let's talk a little bit about that. So in the rear, you usually, you can get somebody of my size in the back behind the driver, and the knees are touching the front seat. I'm 5'7", so you don't buy this car to have people really in the back, but you do fit in the back pretty well. If you move the seat up a little more like I have that one, you probably could fit somebody who's a little bit taller. Another thing, the material, even in the back, Audi didn't compromise with the material. All the material is nice on here, even the material on the where your drinks go in the back. Everything is very nice and very plush. Go into the trunk space, you can put your foot under the, if you have a lot of things in your hand, you can put your foot under the bumper and it will easily open up the trunk for you, and this is where all of your back space has gone. This trunk is gigantic. I can definitely fit in here. I've tried it before. I can fit in here, and if you need even more space, you can fold down the 2 back seats and give you even more space in this car. Now, you get a lot of space, but another knock, there's no spare back here. You just get your big fat old battery. So if you are stuck, hopefully you'll have Audi roadside assistance or AAA of some sort to actually come and save you. Get into the driver's seat. The part that people actually care about the most, the part that you're going to be in, the position you're going to be in the most. And the doors are very nice, very premium on this car. It gives, Porsche a lot. Now, some people like to talk a little bit about some of the materials, but you have Alcantara right here. Yes, you do have plastic right here, but even this leather and all of this right here is pretty nice. It's standard door materials. The Sonos sound system, we'll get a little bit into that a little later. But even when you come into the actual cockpit area, you have this very nice Alcantara steering wheel. This is because I have the RS Design package. It's an additional package. I forget how much it costs, but you get very nice materials on the inside. I know a lot of people talk about this at the top. Oh, it's horrible plastic. If you actually sat in RS3 and you feel this material right here, this is a very nice plush leather. Yes, it looks a little plasticky and it doesn't look as nice, but when you actually touch the material, it is very premium, very nice. And it's the same thing up here. Very premium, very nice. Now, one of the knocks that I'll give is all this black. All this black right here, the black right here. This piano black scratches very easily. As you can already see, mine has already started to scratch. So I am replacing this with carbon fiber. I wish somebody would also make a replacement for here with carbon fiber, because again, it causes so many problems with all the scratching that you're gonna have. And it's very annoying because they put carbon fiber right here. Why can't we have carbon fiber right here and carbon fiber right here, or at least some leather or some sort, a little bit of a better material that doesn't pick up so many fingerprints. So another problem that we're going to go, again, first world problem, is how small these paddle shifters are. Now, I have the paddle shifter extenders on here, which was my easy fix, and I will be getting magnetic paddles a little later, but for now I'm just going to have these ones. So the paddle shifters are super small, so I had to get paddle shifters extenders because they barely go over the wheel and they barely go under the wheel. So it's just a very small area that you can tap, rather than being able to have so much more flexibility with your paddle shifters. Another thing, these seats are actually very comfortable. For them to be a bucket style seat, they are very comfortable. They have a lot of adjustability to them. They hug you very nice on the side bolsters. They hug you very nice on your thighs. They are, a very nice seat. A very nice seat, very comfortable to be in for a long drive. I haven't really done a long drive yet. I will be doing one this weekend, so we'll talk. I'll maybe give you guys an update on how I feel after that, but they are very comfortable driving around town. I have really no problems with them at all. Let's turn the car on so we can show this great Audi infotainment system. So this is one of the last great Audi driver zones that they have made, because with the new 2027s, they have gotten rid of this amazing drive zone. For what reason? I have no clue. So let's get in, let's shut the door, and let's go over this amazing Audi drive zone. So it has, just like I feel like our car should have, it has your dash right in front of here, separate from your infotainment system. I don't know why every brand is trying to bring things together and make it just some big panoramic, screen. You don't need a big curved screen. All you need is right here, focus all on your driver stuff. And then over here, you can have your infotainment system, and still keeping all your AC as physical buttons. I don't know why we got rid of that, having all these buttons down here as physical buttons. It really doesn't make sense why they changed that. I could do a whole rant on that, but again, I'm glad that I have the 26. So let's get into, we can show the driving modes a little bit. So in this car, you have, of course, you have your comfort, you have your auto, and you have dynamic. When you go into dynamic, that opens up your valves. It changes the whole tune of the car. You also have your Audi individual mode, which this is how my individual mode is set. So you can have your torque splitter. I have it on comfortable. You have your drive, you have it on sport, suspension. You can change it however you want. Steering, you can change it, engine sound, and how you want your your ESC. I don't know why I actually have that on that, but so You know, that's just all the different things that you have. You either can customize your performance mode. Now, you can't customize performance too much, but you can do a little bit of customization to it. I just have everything in the hardcore mode because that's how Audi wants you to do it. Also, for people who know, this car does have its drift mode, the RS torque rear, which allows the car to send, you know, 100% of the power to one wheel in the rear. Now, it sends 50 to the back, and it can send 100% of that to one tire. So not thinking that it's actually sending, you know, all 400 horsepower to one wheel. It's sending 50% of that, and then 50% of that to the back, and 100% of that to one wheel. So it's pretty cool how it can actually do that. You also get some pretty cool things with this car. Like, you get Audi Wi-Fi, which is, it's all right. I mean, you get ambient lighting. You get a whole boatload of colors when it comes to this ambient lighting. Like, I have mine in individual. You go into the lines, as you see in the dive, like, it lights up everything here in the front and the rear. They did a really good job at, you know, making the ambient lighting a lot better, because I feel like in the pre-facelift, the ambient lighting was just a bunch of lines. Now it's everywhere in here, which is really cool. So you get about, I think it's 32 options that you can choose from, 30 options that you can choose from, which are really cool. But that's not even like scrapping the surface of all the different customization that you can do in this car. So you go into vehicle. It's telling you guys about the customization of the exterior lights. So you can go into your digital light signatures, which is your daytime running lights, and you can actually change how you want your daytime running lights. So you can go with a classic Audi TTRS build. You can go with more of, you know, having that TTRS but kind of just having the outline, and you can have, I don't even know what the heck that is, but you can have so many. That gives you 4 different ones that you can choose from. I have mine on the checkerboard. I just feel like it's the best one. I was in between this one, the TTRS, and the checkerboard, but I feel like the checkerboard is just perfect. It has so many cool things. Like, again, you have your RS monitor. It shows you how, you know, warm and hot everything is. If you're on the track, you might want to have this up. Again, shows the brakes are cold, so they're going to squeal the first couple of times. You also have your G meter. It shows you how much G you're pulling in this car. And you have your tire pressures, but it only works once you're above the speed of 16 to give you an accurate reading of how everything works. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit in the dash, and then I think we're going to get started on actually driving the car. But so the dash is pretty cool. I love Audi dashes. I feel like they just do it the perfect way, because you have your, of course, you have your dash in the middle, and you can have your navigation to your left, and then you have your performance figures to your right. You can also change that. You can go to your fuel level, you know, how much fuel consumption you're getting. And crazy enough, for this to be a sports car, it gets 30 miles to the gallon. It genuinely gets, since I bought this car, I've done the full long term now. I've had a bit of fun, but I'm still getting 20 most of the time. But when I'm actually cruising in comfort mode, I can easily get 28 miles to 30 miles a gallon on a short drive. But it's just so fun. The sound's just so nice that, yeah, a lot of the time I don't get that. Like, you see, I got 13 coming over here because I was in performance. So if you're in comfort, you can easily get those higher miles per gallon if you need it. But once you get on it, it does drink fuel pretty quickly. The car also has a bunch of other modes. If you want to go in here, you can go to your sports displays. Again, that just shows you all your G meters and everything. Let's just quickly reset that. You can do your lap times if you're on a track. You just have to have it synced up with your track for everything to actually work. You have your lap statistics. Again, just making sure that you're syncing up with a track. You can see all your different lap times, because that's what this car was made for. This car was made to go kill some lap times. We have our acceleration measures if you're doing a 0 to 60. Again, you have to tell the car that you're on a closed course, which of course we always are. And you can do that. We'll play with that a little bit later when we do a launch control. Or you can go for the reduced display look, which basically turns everything off. I like to have the reduced display on when I'm actually in performance mode, so that lets you know that everything's off, and that's the only thing that you see is just the performance. So with that being said, let's go on a little drive. Before we go on a drive, real quick, I forgot to talk about is the Sonos sound system. So of course, Audi ditched the Bang & Olufsen and they went into the Sonos 3D sound system. This sound system is actually very nice. It has 2 subs in the back, and it has 15 speakers all around. I'm pretty sure speakers are everywhere, all galore, and it sounds really good when you have the settings just right. I turned down the 3D to just a little bit. I have my sub turned up 4 bars with a little bit of bass into it, and the clarity is so nice with the boom coming in just right. It's just a perfect mixture of everything that you would like. So with that being said, let's go on a drive. We start in comfort mode, and this car does amazing job at really dialing everything back except one thing. You can't hear the engine anymore. Everything's very docile. The only thing that you'll really be hearing is the sound of your tires or the wind. Let's actually roll the windows up, turn the AC on so you guys can really hear me. So the only thing that you're really just going to be hearing is tire noise. But one thing that this car doesn't do too well at when it's colder, but it does get a little better when it's warming up, is the transmission. I feel like, yes, it says you can put the transmission in different modes, but the transmission to me always feels like it's in sport, you know? Because when you're decelerating sometimes and when you're coming around sometimes, I feel like it's always just in that harshest setting when it's, you know, changing down gears, which again is very much a first world problem. I bought a performance car, but I feel like there's some other performance cars that don't really do that as much. Like when I drove the E63S or the M5, when I drove an M3, I feel like they were actually, when you put it in comfort, they were pretty docile on the down change. But, you know, that's what you get with a DCT. Now, one thing I will say, I think Audi got rid of the jitter of doom. So when you let off on this car, it actually applies just the perfect amount of torque to the car that allows you to set off just right without the car, you know, jittering and going crazy. Kind of like what early DCTs or even some other cars current DCTs have the problem with, is with when you set off and you maybe don't apply enough or you apply too much, the car jerks a lot. So Audi has done a great job of eliminating this feel from the driving experience, which makes me really happy when I'm driving around in comfort that I don't have to deal with that jitter. Oh, look, it's M4. I'm not going to talk too much about, you know, comfort mode, because that's not what you guys are here for. But just know that the car is very docile. It's very tamed when it's in comfort mode. But now let's put it in dynamic. Now you're going to hear the valves open. It puts the transmission in sport mode. And let's put it in manual mode so we can actually hear that motor. So as you see, you actually can hear the inline 5 a little bit stock. You know, it does have a whole bunch of restrictors on it. Like it has 2 resonators and it does have Cadillac converters. This car actually has top Cadillac converters and has lower Cadillac converters, which is very annoying. But this car has the RS Sport exhaust, so it does kind of limit that just a little bit, and it brings in the sound a little bit more. Now Audi definitely is piping a little bit of that sound in, but it's not an actual speaker system. It's noise piped in straight from the engine bay into the cabin, kind of like how Ferrari does it. So it's not a speaker system, it's noise piped in right into the cabin, so you get more of that authentic noise, and it doesn't really sound computerized, more like the BMW M's do, but it gives you a good noise. Like, it's a very nice noise. You can hear the turbo flutter when you get the boost gauge high enough, which I really like, and it's really good for a stock car. I mean, for stock cars nowadays, they're very quiet. This car is no exception. It's very quiet, but you still can have a lot of fun with this car, as we see. And it moves, you know, it really does move. Like, it gets up. Yes, they say it only has 400 horsepower, but I feel like, you know, with a lot of those German brands, how they always say, oh, you know, it only makes 400, but then it's like 400 to the wheels. Like, I feel like this car is very similar to that, because it just gets up and it goes. So now we're just going to set off again. You know, I actually really like this steering wheel. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. But now seeing it in person, you know, actually using it, it is a very nice steering wheel. I like the flat top, the flat bottom. I like the shape of it. The only thing that they really maybe could fix to make it a little better if this was a circle instead of a trapezoid. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's still very good system. Another thing that the car is missing, the car doesn't have a heated steering wheel. The button's actually right here, because, you know, it's on the A3 and I'm pretty sure the S3, but it's just, you know, they just dark it out on this car because you can't have it. But it's still okay. I mean, the heated seats work really fast on this car. The heat works really fast on this car, so it's not like, you know, I'm begging for it or it's a necessity. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Having it in sport mode right now, the suspension is still pretty bearable. Like, we can do a quick little pull right here to give you guys that. Oh wow, it just pushes you back into your seat every single time. Like, I'm still not fully used to it. And then the brakes just really do just slow you down perfectly. Now I'm gonna kick the car into performance mode, which I really like this dash for performance mode. It kind of reminds me of that LaFerrari dash, and I really like that. So now we're just gonna go try and find a road where we can do we're gonna go to Mexico, and we're gonna do a launch control. Okay, now that we're in Mexico, again, I've pressed the car into performance mode, as you see by the dash. I'm going to restart our 0 to 60 counter. There we go. Last time we got 7 seconds, which I was not doing a launch control for that, just to let you guys know. And now we are just going to wait. I'm going to leave the car in auto so I can possibly get the fastest one. I'm gonna let the car do this, especially since I'm holding my phone. What you wanna do, slam down on the brake, and then when it goes green, you wanna build the revs until it reaches 4,000, and then you just wanna let it go. So you just like that, and then you take off. 3.7 seconds. So it's advertised 3.6. I'm able to get it to 3.4 with the tires being a little warmer, but I mean, as you see, it takes off like a rocket ship. It did a little bit of a squirm there, which probably slowed us down just a little bit because the tires weren't fully warm and it's not a straight line. And I also had the AC on like a bimbo, so a lot of different things go into that. We can try it again at this next light and see what we get. This time I have the AC off. I again am resetting my timer, and we're gonna see what we do this time with the AC off. And yeah, hopefully we get a little bit faster. The tire should be a little warmer from that one because we did break traction a little bit. It's crazy how this car breaks traction as an all-wheel drive car, but it does. So again, we're gonna try it, foot on the brake, build up the revs, and let's see what we do. Patience. Nope, just took a well, we probably have ran out of road, but I mean, you just see how this car just makes me giggle. Like that, I feel like that's the most important part when you get a car is, does it make you happy? Does it make you giggle? And this car really does all of that. It makes me happy, it makes me giggle. It really is just a great car, and I would recommend for anybody to buy the Audi RS3. That being said, that is the end of today's video. I kind of just wanted to give you guys a review on my 2026 Audi RS3, just in case if you're looking to buy one or not, which I would say, is it worth it? It depends on what type of person you are, because if you get a pre-facelifts, you can probably find those with really low miles for like $55,000, $52,000, while these ones are still trading for 69, 75, depending on the packages. So it's really just what's your price range and what are you looking for, because when it comes to power wise, there's nothing different between the pre-facelift and the post-lift. It's just the looks, and then they actually did tweak the suspension a little bit. They did tweak the power. No, I mean, not the power. They did tweak the transmission a little bit, and they did tweak the RS torque rear and how it sends power to the different wheels. So if you're really into that type of stuff, I would tell you to get the facelift, but if you're not, then just get the pre-facelift. Just save the $20,000. But I really love this car. I'm super happy with my purchase, and I have an exhaust on the way for this car. That's why I kind of wanted to rush and hurry up and do this review for this car. So soon enough, you guys will be seeing me put an exhaust on the RS3. So if you're really excited for that, I hope you guys stick around, like, comment, dislike, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.